Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I would like to call this meeting of Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 to order. Item 2 is invocation, and Chief Spears has generously volunteered to lead us in an invocation.
Please pray with me. Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for all the wonderful blessings you bestow on us every day. Thank you for the sacrifices made on our behalf. Forgive us where we fail you. Be with our first responders and military services across the world. Be with the leaders here today as they make some tough decisions, providing services to the county and the citizens within it. And all these things we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll remain standing, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and one indivisible. Item 4 is presentations, and we will start with a May 2026 financial report as well as the ARPA reimbursement update.
Yes, sir. So the month of May was filled with lots of audit. The auditors were on site May 4th through the 8th, and as I mentioned in the last meeting, we had a little hiccup with Weaver. Month of May, I still did not receive that invoice. I did not receive it until last Friday. So I was just able to get that off so GMS can continue working with them to get our data. We're continuing to collect information for Tyler. That process is cumbersome. Lots of training. I'm including Tiffany on everything. We're going to tag team everything in this position. So she's learning a lot really quick, and she's really good. Also, and going on with that, I'm including her on any sort of changes we need to make from the HR side to the finance side, since we're just the two of us now. And I'm incredibly thankful for her. She has stepped up into a great role, got her own office now, so she's super thrilled about that. But she's helping every single day with everything. So, the ARPA reimbursement update. Last month I told you that we had submitted for the $124,000 that was left on our account. We were told initially by the former director that we could submit that. I hadn't heard anything from them, so I followed up, and we are not getting that reimbursement because the initial contract for the ARPA funds were to be given to the ESD and then sent out to other departments, not for items kept by the ESD or used by the ESD. So they've closed our account on the ARPA stuff, and we will not be getting that 124.
There's no way to figure out
Chief Mays and Chief Brown and I all talked about that, and to get it done by June 30th, probably not. By having another department buy something, submit it all to me, fill out all the paperwork and get it to them, there was just not enough time. And the ARPA team agreed with that. So I did consult with all of them on that. Expenses this month were a little over $2 million. I'm hoping that these start slowing down. They all know around here that quit spending money. And our tax pool is healthy currently, a little over $17 million, and we did receive our gov cap for the fleet, the 2.8, that I've moved to tax pool to earn interest while we're not spending it. So that is for finance. And next, I'm going to introduce the next presenter. It's Miss Karen Riggs. Yes.
Before you move on,
Yeah.
I guess for the audit,
Uh-huh.
do they have a tentative possible completion date?
He said midsummer initially. So with this hiccup with Weaver, I'm going to say probably late July. So, but they know that we have to have it done before October anyway.
Okay.
You're welcome. Okay, so our next presenter will be Miss Karen Riggs with Zach Tax. We met last month for the first time, and she is like an angel from above. So I will let her introduce herself and the services that she's going to provide, and I hope you're just as impressed as I was.
I expect to hear harp music behind you.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, wow, that makes me feel, I'm going to go step outside and take a minute. So yes, I'm Karen Riggs. I'm with Zach Tax. So I'm just going to give you a little background. So Zach Tax started back in 2010, and we really started primarily to do sales tax analysis because You know, if you've looked at that data, it's overwhelming. And so the company started really to kind of just help people understand what that data looks like. In fact, I'm working through an email that I got today to kind of help you understand kind of some of that data, because it's still kind of confusing even now. But through those conversations, we realized that there's another side that's still a need, and that's the finance side. And so this side of the company, we come in and we help be a resource to finance teams throughout the state of Texas. So I joined Zach Tax about 2 months ago. I have over 23 years in local government. I was actually with the city of Bedford. I just retired about 2 months ago. I was assistant city manager and chief financial officer for them. And part of that I was with Grand Prairie. So I have over 23 years experience doing this work. And so I will be Jennifer's right hand and help her in any way, shape, or form that she needs. I'm also helping her through her software implementation. And so that's kind of what we do. We are here to help in any way, shape, or form we can on the finance side. So we're a team of multiple people, but I am her person. We help with audit, budget, bank reconciliations, AP. The only thing we really don't do is we don't do payroll. That really resides in-house because you know your staff, you know your people. And you don't have utility billing, but we don't do that either. But we'd really just help you on the finance stuff. I'm kind of going high level. No, you're good. You can go to the next slide. So what we charge you guys is we're about $4,000 a month. So if you have a full-time person, you're not going to get that. It's going to be much more than that. So, but that's really, I just kind of wanted to go through that really quickly, but I'm just here to help her navigate this time because I know she's incredibly short-staffed. And so do you have any questions for me? Yes.
I'm the one who wrote the email about the
Yes.
tax. Have you had a chance to go through our tax, and is there, I guess the basic question I had, if I looked at the tax right, we had like 354 new taxpayers in April and 228 in May, if I remember my numbers right. That's almost 600 new taxpayers. That doesn't sound right. Something isn't right. And our sales tax is going up too much. Is that because Tarrant County is really growing, or is it because we've been under collecting and people have been paying somebody else?
So what we're finding with ESDs in particular is that taxpayers are unaware that they're supposed to be paying into, is what we're seeing. And so when I talk to our sales tax person this afternoon, she's going to get with the comptroller for one, to find out if that's really what's happening.
Okay.
And two, if that is what's happening, can we do an audit to recoup those funds? Because the other thing that we are running into is that if they were paying to someone else, can we recoup that and reallocate it to you guys? If they were not doing that, then there's nothing to reallocate. So we've got a kind of a twofold problem. The other thing I discovered with you in particular is that looking just last month to this month, you have one taxpayer, just for example, that was not paying last month that paid this month because they're a quarterly taxpayer. So you have some of that that's going to throw those numbers out of whack as well.
Okay.
So it just depends on those numbers. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just put a filter on first-time taxpayers, and that's where I got the 228 and 3 whatever. So if they were a first-time taxpayer and they paid quarterly, they didn't pay.
They would not have been on that report, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm digging into it a little bit further. I was drafting a response to you, but I was like, well, I want to dig into it, make sure I get you a full response before I hit send. So, but I'll get you an answer tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I know I kind of like spun through that pretty quickly.
No.
Okay.
Will you be able to do, once you get a good feel for our tax, I know you probably don't get to shoot a crystal ball, but I think you probably look at it in enough places to be able to give us some kind of reasonable expectation of what is a safe sales tax increase for 27 or 28. You'll be able to do that for us.
Absolutely. That's one thing that we'll work through with budget process. We'll do like a trend line and things to look out from a capital planning perspective, because that's one thing we'll need to know, kind of what looks like from a sales tax perspective, what we can look like in the future.
Right.
Because otherwise, how can we plan for your capital?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
exactly where we're at.
Yes.
So you'll monitor like the profile of our taxpayers and use that to educate us on the projections that we can expect?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And also while you're doing that, will we be able to have something sent to us that we can review and see and follow what you're seeing?
Absolutely, yes. Now, some of that we can't necessarily talk about
Right,
here
right.
because it is confidential.
Right.
But we can talk about when we're doing like her financial reports. We can do trend lines, and
Yes.
especially when we do the budget presentation, we can talk about what that looks like from a forecast perspective.
Right, that's
Absolutely.
what I'm asking.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
And so all of those, I guess, activities are included in that $4,000?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And that is a base 4,000, it doesn't go.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That is a base rate. Okay. And she has my cell phone. That is my cell phone. That's my my email. I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Thank you. Welcome to the team.
Yes, absolutely glad to be here. Thank you.
Item 5 is Board of Commissioners' comments and announcements. Anything from any of the commissioners? Okay. Item 6, discussion and possible action regarding the order of business or agenda items. Does anybody have an issue with the agenda as written? Then I will accept a motion to proceed as written.
So moved.
Second?
I second.
All in favor? Okay, the agenda is adopted. Public comments, do we?
have one.
Oh, wow, okay. Please state your name.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. My name is Tabitha Tuckeroni. Some handouts, would you like those now or later? Okay. All right. Good evening. My name is Tabitha Tuckeroni, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Newark Ranch Homeowners Association Board and all of the residents in our community located off of FM 718. I'm here regarding the proposed fire and EMS coverage change that affects our area. It's not a small service area adjustment affecting a handful of properties. County parcel mapping indicates the affected area may contain more than 150 developed residential parcels. This proposal affects a substantial residential community that relies on timely emergency response. Our concern is whether emergency services to our community will be maintained or improved before this change is implemented. The Newark Volunteer Fire Department that has historically served our area is approximately 2.4 miles from our community. Residents recently learned that the TCESD-1 has removed the NVFD as the primary responder for our neighborhood, and that NVFD will now respond only when requested under mutual aid for certain fire emergencies. Under proposed interim arrangement, primary emergency service now comes from the station that's approximately 10 miles away, the former Eagle Mountain Station, now called Tarrant County Fire Station 170. This change may also have a direct negative impact on homeowners' insurance rates of those within the affected area. This change could result in homes receiving a new PPC rating of Class 10 or Class 10W. Newark Ranch homes are currently considered a Class 4Y with the NVFD coverage that we had. The future station planned near the resort subdivision is approximately 5 miles away. That station is not even under construction yet. Despite the significance of this change, affected residents were not notified, consulted, or provided an opportunity for input before it was implemented. These facts raise incredibly important questions and valid concerns regarding response times and emergency service delivery. In addition, railroad crossings may affect some response routes. While railroad crossings can impact multiple agencies, increase travel distances, increase the risk that delays could affect emergency response when minutes matter most. Cardiac arrest, traumatic injuries, breathing emergencies, fires, etc. In those situations, every minute matters. To date, residents have not been provided with a response time analysis report supporting this decision. We have not seen railroad delay analysis, a community impact analysis, or any documentation demonstrating that our emergency services will be maintained or improved. Tonight, I'm providing each member of the TCESD-1 board with a response time report prepared using historical incident data from the NVFD, and I respectfully request that it be considered as part of the official record. This report provides real-world response information from the department that has historically served our community and should be considered when evaluating the potential impact of the proposed change. We respectfully request that this board provide the data analysis and justification supporting the transition and explain how service levels will be maintained or improved. This is not about opposing progress, modernization, or future planning. The residents I represent are not asking for promises. We are asking for transparency, accountability, and evidence. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have extra copies if you need them as well.
You might leave one with Chief Brown for Chief Mays. Okay. Item 8 is a consent agenda. Does anybody have any issues with the consent agenda as proposed? Okay, I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as proposed.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved. Item 9 is public hearings, meetings, or other related items. There are none. Item 10 is contracts, agreements, bid awards, and other related items. Again, there are none. So we'll move on to item 11, action items, and we'll start with a discussion and/or action on scheduling a second budget workshop for FY 2027. I assume that would be you, Jen? Or would it be you, Chief Brown?
It would be me.
Okay.
So we've been looking at what the budget looked like and what our presentation was back on the 27th. And in conversations we've had, we think we're in a pretty good spot as far as where that budget is, how it was presented, and any questions that y'all had at that point in time. So right now, we're not recommending a second workshop. Any discussion that we need to have, we can have in all of our board meetings. So going forward, we'll base it off of the next board meeting, which would be, it's the 21st?
July 21st.
Of July.
Okay.
Any discussion about that? Questions?
Commissioners, any issues with canceling the second budget workshop?
And so I want to be clear, next meeting is July 11th,
July 21st.
21st.
21st,
Thank you.
yes.
Got it.
Okay. This is an action item, so we need to have a motion, I would assume?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve not scheduling a second budget workshop for the fiscal year 2027.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the second budget workshop for FY 2027 is canceled. Item B, discussion and/or action regarding whether the Tarrant County ESD 1 Board of Commissioners wishes to add a second board meeting for the months of June through September for budget preparation purposes. Chief Brown?
So what we would like to do is go ahead and schedule second meetings for August and September. What that does for us, if there is, so when we get into August, we should have a pretty good idea on what the tax revenue is going to be for us. But if we need a second day in August, as we did, 2 weeks ago, we had an emergency meeting that lasted 5 minutes to set up a date and a time. With this, if we can go ahead and set up a second meeting in August and a second meeting in September, it'll give us the ability, if we'll already have those meetings established, and they'll be there available as needed. If we don't need the second meeting, we can just cancel. That's not a problem based off of how we work.
Okay.
Question, Chief Brown. So our August meeting, is that where we set the tax rate?
We should establish the tax rate then.
And where in the district will it be held?
We haven't determined that yet.
Yeah, I know last year we used an elementary school out by Eagle Mountain area. That's one that we'll evaluate.
Whiskey Flats has enough space.
So does Rendon.
They do. The only downside about both of those is there's no air conditioning, and it's going to be August. So maybe not a great choice for those. So we'll seek out another location that we can be comfortable in.
Okay. Anita, your schedule is probably the heaviest for travel. Do you have dates in August and September that it would be convenient for you?
Do we have anything we're looking at? On the screen. On the screen. 11th, 25th. Okay. The 25th would be good for me.
Okay.
How about in September?
Let's see, September 22nd.
22nd.
So August 25th and September 22nd would be the two that would work.
Does those work for everybody else?
So those are the second meeting dates. The first meetings are the 11th and the 8th, as if that's the second Tuesday, and then
Those-
the 25th and 22nd is the fourth Tuesday.
Correct. There are those two meetings are already established for August the 11th and September the 8th. The second meetings for those months would be August the 25th and then September the 22nd.
So those first two meetings, August 11th, I will be out of town. And September 8th, I will be out of town.
What's your duration of out of town?
2 weeks and 2 weeks. I'll be in Barcelona on one
Sounds nice.
and St. Lucia on the other.
Can we move the meetings to join her?
That sounds like a really good
I
one.
haven't been to
I don't know if the
Barcelona in
taxpayers
forever.
gonna pay for that.
Like I said, the 11th will be the first time that we talk about the tax rate, and we still may be waiting on all of the July taxes to come in. So the 25th may be our very first opportunity to establish those as a hard number.
So we're gonna make,
I take that back. I will be home August 10th, so I will be here August 11th.
Oh, fantastic.
I'll be crazy, but I'll be here.
It's okay.
You're gonna be like Kurt. You're gonna be trying to get home from the airport.
I'll be like, my time zone will be totally off, but I can be here on the
Okay.
11th. I will be here on the 11th, but not on the 8th of September.
Okay.
okay, do we have which of those dates are we gonna meet in the district and set the rate, the 11th or the 25th?
It'll probably be the 25th.
Okay.
I think that's more realistic.
That was gonna be my thought, just from the perspective that 11th, we can get a lot of information and ask questions.
Absolutely.
And then the 25th would be a good time to set the rate. Man, if something happens that we need to punt it, well, we can punt it into September 8th.
What's our statutory obligation to announce? Is it September 1st?
I believe it's either September 1st, like the first week of
So
September, but I
Then
will
the 25th
confirm
would
with.
be the day we do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I will accept them, if you could go back.
Oh.
I will accept a motion to establish secondary meetings August 25th and September 22nd.
So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item C is discussion and or action to proceed with preparing a credit package and solicitation to send out to financial institutions for future capital facility projects. Do you have a presentation today?
I don't have a presentation, but I'm here to answer any questions.
So just a little history and, you know, just what you'd read us. You know, under our municipal administrative agreement with GovCap, their role is not to be a lender. You know, as we discussed before, they're not our lender. They're a fiduciary. They're an advisor role to y'all, and what that looks like, right? What we're asking them to do is go forward and prepare a credit package and solicit to find out from financial institutions just what's out there and available. Once they receive the offers back from the banks, I would expect that we would come back on the 21st and deliver to y'all what those outcomes are. What I'm asking you to do tonight is go ahead and give GovCap the opportunity to go out and solicit this information for us and bring it back to you on the board on the 21st, where y'all will have the opportunity to vote on that going forward with that lending.
Excellent. Is there any questions or comments from any of the commissioners?
So when you say the 21st, are you talking about next month? You'd be able to get
July.
everything back by the 21st of July, or we can do that in August?
I don't know that we'd be prepared, I don't know, we've gotta give the banks, we need about 60 days.
That's kind of what I thought that's
We
what I
need
was,
about 60 days, so, I could come back with, some indicatives of where we're seeing the market.
okay,
But in terms of final approval with the loan documents that have been reviewed by all the attorneys, we probably could review all the business terms on the 21st,
okay.
and then contingent on the final, legal review of all the loan agreements and documentation. That would be, that's not unusual. So, that would be,
So I guess we could set up the agenda to just have, as you indicated, indicatives back
we.
on the
to
21st.
review
The data
business terms,
information.
To review the business terms, right.
Okay,
And at that time, then you can make a final determination to select a lender, approve those terms. It's not, we wouldn't necessarily have to come back to board if we have that contingent upon legal review, approved contingent upon legal review and approval, those terms, those business terms. But we may bring it back to board, after that final review. We've just gotta try to time up the market, rate locks and those types of things. So, but certainly we could be back on the 21st, with with firm, credit approved offers. We just wouldn't have time to have all the legal review done.
Okay.
Because we wouldn't know which lender we would even be recommending until a week before the board meeting, and then you have to have at least a couple weeks for the attorneys to draft documents and for those to be reviewed, so.
So you're saying indicatives on the 21st of July and
Right.
decision on August 11th?
Right.
Okay.
and I guess the next question, as far as the solicitation, is there any type of format or review that we need to authorize or approve?
Not necessarily, because this is not going to be a public offered bond. So these are, would be more in what's called negotiated sales, where you go out to the market to a limited offer, usually 7 to 8 banks or other financial institutions. You could have a loan management firms that are in there. But then, those would come back, we review those, and then review those with either a facilities committee and or the full board. And then make a selection, a lender selection on the 21st. That would be my anticipation. Once we select a lender, then we have the go forward for that institution to draft their documents if they have their own purchasers council to start that work. But basically, the business terms are decided or known, or at least they're known on the 21st, if not determined by the board in terms of decision.
I'm trying to remember because I think I missed the previous meeting where we did the solicitation for the equipment.
Right.
Did we have to have some type of resolution, or was there something that was voted on at that time?
No, there was not. It's not a sealed bid format. That would only be the case in competitive bids for like publicly sold bonds.
Okay.
But so there's not a board action required for a form of the solicitation. But I would just suggest that we certainly would welcome and invite any input that any of the commissioners have with regard to features or considerations that we want to make sure that are priorities. For example, we want to have certain call provisions. We want to be able to have payoff options that we look at. So those things can be determined, informally in the sense of not having a board action per se. But we certainly would want the direction from the board with regard if there's specific business terms or features that we want to include in that outreach.
So there would possibly be an opportunity for early payoff that you could investigate for us.
I would just give you the kind of the standard market if you're asking for now. It's a 20-year term. A 20-year term typically has an 8-year non-call period. But those are, again, these are all negotiable features of the financing. So I would say at a minimum, that would be our minimum, but that the board will entertain, and it will be could play a part in the final decision in terms of the flexibility that any given institution can offer in terms of flexibility. Because there's a trade-off typically between interest rates and the ability to pay off early. because these are long-term, 20-year fixed-rate terms. They are probably using a swap feature on the back, so there's some cost for them to unwind it, but that varies from institution to institution. We like them, you know, we'd like to prefer a 5-year non-call period over an 8-year, or a 3-year over a 5-year, all things being equal. So, but we will certainly say this is the minimum we would entertain, we would expect, and then if you have a more flexibility, please include that, because that will be part of the final determination by the board.
Okay, and this being an action item as well, we're just asking you to approve this going forward to let him go to work for us.
Very cool. Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners? Okay, is there a motion to approve GovCap moving forward with the solicitation package? Well, I'll make the motion. I make the motion that we approve GovCap to proceed with the solicitation package and come back with indicatives on July 21st. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item D, approval of a resolution declaring the intention of Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 to reimburse itself from proceeds of one or more taxes exempt financing for certain expenditures to be made in connection with capital facility funding and other matters related thereto. As I understand it, this is a formality that we can come back and recover some of the costs that we're expending now on stations, and we can include them in the package that that he's going to present to us.
That is correct. We can go back to April, anything that we may have spent as of April the 12th going forward. An example may be architectural design costs, anything that we pay out during that time frame, we can tie into these loans.
Okay, any questions or comments from commissioners?
Do we have the draft resolution? I mean, is there some specific language already?
Yes, it's already in your packet, yes, sir.
Is that being reviewed by legal?
It's the same one that we had the last time on the vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same one that we had on the vehicles from last time.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Yeah, I move to approve the resolution declaring the intention of Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 to reimburse itself from proceeds of one or more tax-exempt financing for certain expenditures to be made in connection with capital facility funding and other matters related thereto.
Is there a second?
the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the resolution is approved. Item E, discussion and/or approval of a resolution regarding the voluntary annexation into the city of Hazlet of approximately 67.589 acre tract located in Tarrant County, Texas.
President, we're going to have to move this to the next meeting. I still do not have the resolution from the attorney.
Okay, so that one we will move to July 21st.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to item 12, briefing items. Fire operations update.
Well, fire operations update, just kind of a rundown of everything that we have going on at the present time. Apparatus and equipment, we've still got vehicles that are in the process of getting upfitted for lights and sirens and radio installations. Our engine 370 has been ordered. It will be here, and we should have possession of it by the 1st of December of this year. Engine 470 is on order. Anticipated delivery would be July of 27. This is the engine that we had, Chief Watson had ordered for us previously. The utility 270, we're anticipating the delivery of that in July. Tender 370, we had to send it to LaGrange to get some warranty work done. We received it back today, so it will be in service in the next couple of days.
That Tender 370 is a new truck.
It is. It's
Okay.
one that we'd got in that had some issues, and we sent it back to the factory to get repainted. We're fully staffed right now as far as personnel. We're still in the process of getting in some dual-purpose PPE for some of our firefighter paramedics that we currently have. Technology-wise, we're still waiting on our MDCs to be programmed from our vendor and then get installed into our vehicles. A lot of work going on there. They never move fast enough for me. First Due, which is our records management system, we're having to make some tweaks and changes to it, but it's all working real well for us, both on the fire and the EMS side as far as the reporting systems. Update on dispatch. Dispatch is still evaluating replacing the CAD system through our dispatch center at Everman. Lexipol, our policies and procedures protocol. We've been working hand in hand with them on a weekly basis, getting a lot of our policies out to our personnel. I hadn't counted how many policies there are. There's somewhere around 200 and some. And we're deploying them I sent 24 out last week. We could gather them all up and send them all at one time, but they're not going to read them. Right. If I send them to you, 20, 30 at a time. So within Lexipol, what we have with them, it's an electronic system to where I send it to you in an email. You have to go in, read it, and once you've completed it, you sign off and acknowledge that you have read it. So it's a good tracking system for us. Lexipol is also, they look at county, state laws and review that for us. So it's a good application for us, and it's just slow in application, unfortunately. Let's see. Training, we had some of our crew that attended the Frontier Fools training sessions last week. Great training for them. And we've done some training in this last week with Parker County on fire tactics. That's about everything we got for updates for the fire side. EMS updates. Chief Lawrence, the floor is yours, bro. Absolutely. He's sick today, so be careful.
Oh, okay.
I'll fight through it. All right, so first off, we're going to go over EMS billing. We're using EMS MC, and they've officially gone into operation on billing starting June 1st. So everything they're doing now is back billing all the way from when we started. We're currently still working to get enrollment in Medicaid and Medicare. Medicare is still maybe 2 weeks out. That's what they're telling us. We sent an email before the meeting, and still looking about 2 weeks out. Medicaid, we're looking about a month or so out still. So once all that does get finalized, we're not going to be losing any money on anything that we've run so far. They're just going to back bill everything. Okay. So it's just a delay in payment, not a lost payment. So let's see. So looking forward, we're just going to continue to finalize our Medicaid and Medicare and just processing all the past calls. We do from time to time get calls from people that have patients of ours that are looking for their bills because they want their insurance to pay them and they're not getting anything yet. And there is a way for us to track that still through EM site, so we can pull that data for them and give that to them. So we do from time to time get patients calling for that, and they're able to get their bills. Otherwise, it's just a delayed bill. So those are good. We want people that are wanting to pay their bill, right?
Exactly.
So that's our billing. For training, this will be a broken record for you guys because this is something that we do every single month as far as training of our new paramedics. we have, a field training evaluation program is what we call it, FTEP, and that's where our FTOs are training all of our paramedics. It's a 20-page program that they have to go through and get checked off on everything. And then once they're checked off on that, then they have to sit down with me, and I go over scenarios with them. I go over protocols. I go over dosages with them. And then when they're checked off by both of us, then finally they can sit down with the medical director and go over scenarios. That's kind of their final milestone, is to get that doctor check off. And during that check off, he'll go over the protocols, which we have approximately 50 protocols. He'll go over all the drugs with them, which we have about 35 drugs. And then off of those drugs, we have about 150 different dosages that go along with them, depending on the indications. So there's a lot that goes into it. So they're going to be evaluated on that. They go over, skills, airway skills, IV skills, clinical making decisions, and just kind of see what they can do under pressure, because it is quite a bit of pressure when you're in the middle of the call. And although our medical director doesn't want it to be a lot of pressure, they get really nervous sitting in front of him being judged, So it's a pretty big thing for them.
I'm nervous you describe it.
It's a pretty big deal for them to sit down in front of them and go over scenarios and pass. So I'm sure you guys have seen on Facebook where Best EMS post every time that we have somebody pass, they'll take a picture with them and put it on their Facebook. It's a big accomplishment. So we try to do the same thing with them and congratulate them. And if we can post that on our site, that would be amazing as well. Recently, we've had a couple, Matthew Taylor and Zachary Annable, the last two that's passed for us. Just so you guys understand our standards or whatever. These two guys were paramedics with MedStar and with AMR, checked off as lead paramedics. And we don't just let them slide into the position. We put them through training, and we make them check off just like a person that just came out of school. So they did a good job and was checked off to go along with him. A couple new things that go along with the training side of things is recently we've had some new equipment that's going to help us out in the training process. That's a continual thing also that we'll be buying throughout the year. But we did purchase some infant and some adult airways, which they have different inserts that can go into them where you can have like a difficult swelling airway, you can have a burn airway. So this is a skill that we don't get to do every single day, especially on an infant patient. That may be something that you see once a year, if you're lucky. Not lucky, but if once a year, maybe. So having these training mannequins is huge for us, and we put those out into the field now. Brendan has one, and Eagle Mountain has one, and we will be getting the adult ones have been ordered. They're just not here yet. So once those get here, we'll put those out in the field for everybody to do training as well. And like I said, those training mannequins are good for just doing basic skills. So even our EMTs can do these skills. BVM, just putting a bag on their face. We can intubate that patient. We have ventilators. These mannequins can be used with ventilators, so we can practice our ventilator skills as well. So that's our training. Here's so this is month 2. We started April 1. This is month 2 here. These are May calls. So we're able to track some trends, and going forward, we'll try to get a little bit more in depth. This has call types here, but there's all sorts of things that we'll be able to track. So just here, we have 6 FTOs currently, field training officers right now, and each one of those people, they do chart reviews every single day. There's been 271 of them for May. They review and they go over protocol deviations, they go over charts, narratives, vital signs, a lot of things like that. I review every single one of them, and I kind of go a little deeper into the chart itself to try to get call types. Are they getting 2 sets of vitals? Are they getting signatures? Are they getting social security numbers, which helps for billing? Things like that. So I go a little bit deeper into it. So just in May, this is kind of what we've got for the call volume-wise. As you can see, the largest one there is that blue, which is trauma. That was 99 of those reviews, which equals 37%. The next one up was the medical calls with 45, which is 17%. Medical calls are kind of just a catch-all. They're like, they would be like abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, diabetes, weakness, fever, allergic reaction, something like that would just fall into the medical category.
Would trauma mainly be like car wrecks and things like that, or what would trauma be?
Honestly, trauma is going to mainly be falls.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of falls. So then another big one that you'll see on there for us, for our review process, is going to be the refusal and AMAs. Those are big ones. They're liability issues. So those are that's kind of our call volume right there. Let's see, what else do I got on here? I think that's probably it for the call volume. There is one more thing that's not on the agenda, that's not up here, that I wanted to kind of end on a good note, I guess. That we, I don't know if we discussed it in a previous meeting or not, but last month I had the opportunity to meet a trauma surgeon at Methodist Mansfield. I think it was on Facebook as well, about a call that we ran, Rendon ran, and they did a really good job, and the trauma surgeon commended us on the work that we did. Well, just a couple of days ago, I got an email from one of our own talking about good work that we did, good work that bystanders did. And I wanted to read this email that he sent me and then just kind of, tell you the outcome of the patient, because I think it's a good story. So here we go. So this is from one of our guys to me. I am writing to propose formal recognition for a life-saving award for the clinic nurse and paramedic who responded to a cardiac arrest incident at Kenneth Copeland Ministries on 6/9 of 26. Prior to our arrival on scene, their immediate and high-quality interventions were instrumental in achieving a return of spontaneous circulation. Their proficient and quick actions during those critical minutes directly contributed to a successful patient outcome and laid the groundwork for our crew to seamlessly take over care. I believe recognizing their efforts would be an excellent reflection of our department's commitment to honoring outstanding emergency medical care in the community. Additionally, our crew would like to coordinate a time to meet with their clinical staff. This would allow us to properly debrief the call, share feedback, and foster a stronger working relationship with the healthcare professionals in our response area. So I have reached out to them, and this is something that we will do. I've talked to the security staff there. I've talked to the medical staff. I talked to the cardiologist of this patient earlier today. The patient's been extubated and is talking now. So cool. This is just an amazing story that I thought would be good to finish the EMS operations.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that. No, great.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Okay. Under briefing items, item C is facilities update.
It's kind of an update on what we've got going on at some of our facilities. You recognize this building?
No, I don't.
That's Eagle Mountain Station 170.
Yep.
We just got a fresh coat of paint on it. Some other things that we've done in the short period of time we've been there. We replaced the septic system there. The one they had there, unfortunately, was undersized, and I think we're a lot better off now. We're in the process of getting bids to paint the inside of the station. It's pretty drab and pretty dirty, and we're going to make it look a whole lot better. Replace some of the flooring there again. It's worn and tattered. And the guys have did a great job of, so this station has been around for 50 years. And if you've lived in your house more than 10 years, you know how you accumulate stuff, right? They had 50 years of stuff accumulated here. We had 4 dumpsters delivered, and they threw away 4 20-yard dumpsters of just trash that they had collected over years. I also needed to, and I brought in a company to do a cleanup on the back area. So if any of y'all never drove by there, at one time they had 7 or 8 mobile homes there where people were living in them. Before we took possession of the area, they moved out all but 2 of those trailer homes, but left a tremendous amount of trash, dirt, and everything else. So we've had crews out there over the last week cleaning all that up. We're trying to get that to a point to where when you walk back there, it looks like a park. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. So that's a little bit of work going on at Eagle Mountain. This station here is Station 370, Briar. Fresh coat of paint on Briar Station. One of the problems that we ran into at this particular station, it was an old station that hadn't been taken care of. We didn't have the guys in there very long, and we had a big rainstorm come, and water started coming in and around and under the walls of the building. So we had a contractor come in. As you can see, the picture on the bottom left-hand side, the picture just to the right of that, and then the stairs going back out into that. We had them come in and pour a concrete wall and a drain area. As that water comes into that area, it drains off the building, doesn't drain on top of the water. They did not have much of a parking area. We built a parking area and a parking lot on the back side of the building as well. With our purchase of equipment from Rendon, they had an emergency generator down there that worked real well for this size station. We've moved that down there. It's set up and it's ready to go with emergency power. And then here is Station 770. Just a few pictures. I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to go down and take a look at it. But a couple of pictures of the front, a couple of pictures of the inside of the station itself. Some of the stuff we still have left to do under phase 1 of this facility is we have 2 sets of stairs that supposed to be done next week and installed over the next 2 weeks. Stove and vent hood, they're still working without a stove and vent hood, so a lot of cooking out on the grill for the last month or so. We hope to have all of that done within the next 3 weeks, and phase 1 will be completed. Then we'll move on to phase 2 of the money that we're talking about borrowing going forward. Anyway, just wanted to kind of give you an update on what that was.
What was the decision on the grill or on the cooktop? Are you going to go with a 36 and?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Too much associated with the larger and the vent hood, and it got into a mess. So.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Chief. At this point in time, I'm going to take the executive session, the Emergency Services District Board into executive session. We're initially going to go in under 551.071, which is consultation with attorney. And we're in executive session as of 6:53 p.m. Okay, I'm gonna bring us back in from executive session under .071 at 7:21 PM. And I will accept a motion, or I will make a motion that we authorize the attorneys to proceed as deliberated in executive session.
A second?
All in favor? Aye. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna take us back into executive session under 551.074 personnel at 7:22 PM. Video's going? Okay. Anita? Okay, I'm going to bring Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 back into session from executive session at 7:39 PM. And at this point, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.